Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we were discussing regarding recycling that for the bigger objects we try to reduce their size, and as we reduce their size we want to see that they must not become more complex, rather they should become more simple. And then after that we saw that how we can measure size, and we discussed about size, distribution of particles, etc. So breakage is also a related phenomena. In this we discussed that how a material breaks and how easily it breaks, and what kind of smaller particles and how small particles can be created from different type of materials. So that is what we will discuss in this topic. So the profile A here is an example of the material that fractures with no plastic deformation. So there is no change in the shape of the material and it breaks instantly. So for this kind of materials we call it brittle materials. The profile B is an example of the material that fractures with very little plastic deformation. Before breaking, it shows some change of form, some change of shape, and then ultimately it breaks. So these two profiles, profile A and profile B, would be classified as low ductility material. They are less ductile and more brittle materials. Profile C is the material that plastically deforms before fracture. So its shape keeps on changing and ultimately it breaks like this. So the material which breaks like this is called ductile materials. So the stress strain curve for brittle and ductile materials will be shown in the next slide. So this is the stress strain curve for the brittle and ductile material. So as the stress is applied on it, the brittle material, they almost breaks instantly. This is shown in this small figure here. And for the ductile materials, they deform first, their shape changes instead of breaking, and then finally they are broken. So they are called the ductile material. So brittle material breaks while little to no energy is absorbed when stressed. So in this deformation, the stress being applied or the energy which is being applied to break it is absorbed by the material, and instead it is being used in deforming the material rather than breaking it. But for the brittle materials, the energy which is applied is immediately transformed into breaking the material rather than being used to change the shape of the material. The material fractures with no plastic deformation. So we already discussed that mark A shows the brittle material will look like after pulling off a cylinder of that material. There will be large audible snap sound. There will be a large breaking sound when the brittle materials break. So let's have a look what is a viscous material. Viscous materials are thick or sticky or adhesive materials. Strain accumulates as a function of time. So when we apply stress on this, the strain keeps on accumulating in it, and even when the stress has been removed, the strain is there. It has absorbed the strain. Viscous flow is not recoverable. It does not recover. So we see that when in this area the shear stress is off, there is no shear stress, but still this deformation has been caused this de-shaping has been caused and now it is not going back. When the stress is removed from the viscous fluid, work energy is not returned to the forcing agency and has to be otherwise dissipated. So these were some basic concepts we needed to discuss before we move on to actual concept of breakage. So now we will discuss the actual concept of breakage. So breakage at recycling is a composite outcome, is a combined outcome of brittle, ductile or viscous behavior, the three behaviors we just discussed. The brittle particles can be broken by compression or impact because they can be broken immediately. So these are some examples of brittle materials, rocks, minerals and also sometimes of coatings. With the breakage of brittle materials, the fine particles will be easily produced. So particle size distribution tend to follow roughly a simple distribution. A simple normal distribution will be formed, so there will be one big chunk of material which will have uniform size or closely related size. So majority of the particles will have sizes which are close to each other. On the other hand, to break the ductile materials like metals, we have to have a shear force for breaking. Shear force is the force which is acting along the surface. It can be created by impact crushers. Impact crushers are those type of crushers which break the materials by striking like a hammer with a rapidly moving blow bar or some kind of hammer or plate which impacts on the material. Those are called the impact crushers. Particles tend to become bent and folded depending upon their dimension and plasticity. So here we are talking about the ductile materials. Compressive stress results in major deformation before breakage. So we already discussed in the definition that when the material is ductile, it will deform, it will de-shape before it breaks. Okay, so this is a phenomena which is observed, that when the temperatures are very low, the particles will tend to behave in a brittle way. So if a metal is cooled, for example, with liquid nitrogen, it will become brittle, while at normal temperature it is ductile. So when it is cooled to a very low temperature, it will become brittle and then it will break with a snap. It will just break immediately as opposed to its ductile behavior. Production of fine particles will be difficult. So the viscous behavior, for example, of plastics, they behave this viscous behavior. It is also a common observation. If you recall that if there is a PVC pipe and we want to break it, we want to bend it, we apply the force to bend it, but it does not break immediately. It bends, and then if we release the force before it breaks, it does not recover to its original shape. So that is the viscous behavior. So also depending upon the glass, sometimes the glass is brittle and sometimes it has the viscous behavior. It is depending upon the time and temperature. So if we cool it down, it will become more brittle, and also it will depend on how much time we have for how long we have applied the stress on these particular materials, which intrinsically show the viscous behavior. At low temperatures and high impact velocities, viscous materials will behave in the way that is similar to brittle material. So if we lower the temperature, if we cool them down, and instead of is applying slowly, instead of applying the stress slowly, we have a very high, very quick impact on the material, so then it can break immediately. And even though it is a viscous material, it will behave like a brittle material under these conditions, when we hit very quickly the high impact velocities and at lower temperatures. No fines by a high compression zone close to the impact point do form. We saw that for the actual brittle materials which have the brittle behavior or brittle material characteristics at normal temperatures, we discussed that fines are produced when we break or when we apply impact to the brittle materials. But in this case, when the material is not actually brittle but it is behaving like brittle, there are chances that the fines will not be produced. Particles break at the time of pressure release. At cryogenic temperatures, they are very, very low temperatures. Behavior is almost brittle and energy consumption in breakage is low. At high temperatures, the behavior is different and impact causes substantial deformation but may not produce breakage. So when we heat the material, then the breakage becomes difficult and materials are more deformed rather than being broken. So this is also what we see. For example, if we heat a PVC pipe and we stretch it, so it will ultimately break, but then there will be fiber-like, there will be like fibers or thin shreds that will be also hanging from the both parts of the broken body. Fine particle production needs cooling. So this is how this is related to recycling, that recycling products are made of a huge variety of materials which have a range of behaviors. They are not only, they can, all of them cannot be classified as either ductile or viscous, etc. Okay, so also they are not in the pure form, they are joined in the products with different materials. So for the ductile materials, the type of joint, how they are joined to the other part and other material will decide that upon breaking how the material breaks. In brick are not valid for ductile breakage. So there are models which can predict the brittle behavior, but they are not valid for ductile breakage. So in the next lecture we will discuss about the size classification.